Okay, this video is to give you directions on the 30-second commercial project. So the directions tell you that you are on the promotion team for your service business. So when I say your service business, I mean that service business that you started in Unit 1 and you answered questions on the business plan in Unit 1 and Unit 2 for this service business. So you are asked to develop a 30-second commercial that is unique and will meet the needs of a specific target market. So there are two parts to this assignment. Part 1 is the service promotion overview, which is 10 points. Now that is this sheet here, and I'll go through that with you. And then part 2 is the actual advertisement, so the actual 30-second commercial, and that is worth 20 points. Now, notice here it does say that we will present to the class dependent on time, and I do not think that that's going to happen. So I would say we will not be presenting to the class our advertisement. So it will just be me that will be looking at your commercials. All right, so as for part 1, you are going to answer the questions. You're going to complete this service promotion overview that's on this document. So first one is you are going to answer the service. It says you're going to write a description of the service. Notice it says 5 to 7 sentences at least. If you want to write more than 7 sentences, that's awesome, but at least 5 sentences. So when we talk about this, I really just want to know, what is your service business? Now, more than likely, you've already answered these questions on that Unit 1 business plan document. So this should be pretty easy for you to answer. Tell me about your service business. What are you offering? Then letter B, you're going to describe at least 2 service benefits or attributes. So really what I want you to think about here is, why would people buy your service? How would it benefit them? What would they get out of buying your service? What's great about it? Okay, so 2 service benefits or attributes. That needs to be at least 4 sentences. Letter C then is your target market. So this is where you're going to explain who the service is marketed towards in terms of demographics. So I want you to tell me who your customer is. Now, when I talk about demographics here, I mean age, income, location, and gender. So when we look at age is usually going to be listed in a range. So we might say that our potential customer is going to be between 65 and 80. Okay, that is our age range of our potential customer. We also want to think about income level. Now, usually when we talk about income level, we could talk about it in a range, or we might say that this is aimed more towards lower income or middle income or higher income. When we talk about location, I want you to tell me, where does your potential customer live? Do they only live in Fargo? Do they live in Fargo-Moorhead, or are there surrounding areas outside of our area that your potential customer would live in? And then the last one was gender, so male or female, or does it matter? Do you have both genders buying from you? Okay. So this is really where we're thinking about who is your potential customer. Now, once you fill out this sheet, you are then done with part 1, and now you can move on to part number 2. Part number 2 is actually creating your commercial. If you look down at the bottom of the sheet, I do have options of different programs that you can use to create your video. I do not have a specific program that I want you to use. It is totally up to you in what you want to use. I would say, like those of you that have an iPhone, it might be very easy for you to just shoot your video on your phone. You might use iMovie. Another really easy one to use is Windows Movie Maker. You should all have that on your computer. Powtoons is a great animated video maker. There can be a couple different versions. I know for Powtoons it has like 2 different versions. You can pay for it, and then when you pay for it, you get additional things that you can use in your videos. Do not worry about that. I just want you to use the free versions, okay? So make sure that you are using the free versions of anything that you use. I don't want you to have to pay for anything, okay? If you have questions on these programs, I will tell you that I am not an expert of all of these. I do know how to use majority of these, and if I don't know the answer to your program question, I will find out the answer for you. So don't hesitate to email me or ask me in class on how to do something with your program, okay? Other than that, I really have no specifics for your commercial. Lots of questions that I always get on this is, I have to be in the commercial? And my answer to that is absolutely not. If you do not want to be in your commercial, you do not need to be in your commercial. I want you to think about commercials that you see on TV. Is there always a person in the commercial? No. So you don't have to be in the commercial. You don't have to talk in the commercial. My main thing that I am going to be looking for is this. Does your commercial affect, or does your commercial not affect, does your commercial reach your demographic group, your target market? Does it reach your potential customer? You do not have to necessarily give this specific description. So what you wrote up here, you do not have to put that into your commercial, and you do not have to list your 2 benefits in your commercial. However, we want our customer to buy our service. So we probably want to talk about our service, and we might want to talk about why they should buy our service. Okay, but I'm not going to say that you have to have a slide that specifically goes over description and a slide that specifically goes over your benefits and attributes, okay? So the commercial, really, you just need to create something that advertises your service business and meets your target market. Now, time is the other big thing that I'm going to be looking at for your commercial. It does say 30 seconds. I'm going to give you a 5-second over or under. What that means is that if your commercial is 25 seconds long, that's great. You are fine. If your commercial goes to 35 seconds, you're great. You're fine. Anything over 35 seconds or anything under 25 seconds, that's where I'm going to start docking some points. Okay? So you have 25 to 35 seconds that your commercial should be. Now, if you have questions on this assignment, it's really open-ended. Okay, so other than this document that you have to fill out here and creating that commercial with the time limit, it's pretty open-ended. If you have questions, though, for clarification, please make sure that you are emailing me or you are stopping to see me in class. When you are done, this document will be turned in on Google Classroom. Your commercial will also be turned in on Classroom. So this is where you will have to add your commercial as a file. Again, if you have questions on how to do that, just make sure that you email me or ask me in class.